right buttons.
I can't wait till the night, man.
No, tonight's going to be great.
I was a huge
great
Franky.
segue, Earl.
Yeah, tonight's going to be great.
Great segue. Real quick, if you guys have not already signed up for the UCSS newsletter, text the number on the bottom of your screen. It's a nice little recap of everything that happened the week before. And shout out to our member of the week. That is T Fields, who gets a special shout out on the newsletter. So text the number at the bottom of your screen if you want to sign up for the UCSS newsletter. Francisco Lindor is making his return to Progressive Field tonight for the first time with fans in attendance. And Donovan Mitchell weighed in on this topic. And I want to show you his response, and then I'm curious how you guys think. But Steve, take tag, we're full here. This was the initial tweet. Lindor will be playing in front of fans at Progressive Field for the first time in 5 years. This was tweeted out yesterday. How will we receive him? Boos, cheers, I'm curious. To which Donovan responded, gotta be cheers.
I agree.
I do too.
Anyone disagree?
Nope. You know why? Because it's been so long.
Yeah, like who hating on Franky, right? Everybody
First of all, you can't.
Like everybody in this city absolutely adored and loved Francisco Lindor. I remember when LeBron left and the banner that was across from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Lindor was the leading candidate to be the player that replaced LeBron on that banner. Now, you can't be pissed off at him because the Dolans was being cheap and didn't want to sign him. Shout out to Chris Antonetti and crew for, you know, making a trade that the Guardians clearly won. But it's been so long. I can't wait to see him. Hopefully he's excited to be back in the city. I think he's going to get cheered. I think he's going to get some loud cheers. If he kind of comes up to the plate and he makes a play that don't go in the Guardians' favor, you're going to get the hell bull out of him. But yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
Time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
If he was traded inside the division and he would have come back in the third week of the season the next year, he would have been booed. Unfairly, he would have been booed. Because he wasn't the bad guy in this situation.
Nope.
No. If you're looking, and I don't even know that there was a bad guy. I think fans wanted to make the Dolans the bad guys because it's not in their DNA to sign someone for their entire career. It's just not.
Right.
They're never going to have a superstar except for Jose Ramirez, who gave them a hometown discount. He left $100 million on the table to stay here. He loves it here. He wants to play here his whole career. That makes him a good guy. They should do a Jose Ramirez statue when he hangs up his uniform, and they probably will. For Franky, he was the guy that if you were ever going to break the bank, he was the guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Smile. Fans loved him. He plays with a youthful enthusiasm. He's what I call a top step of the dugout kind of guy. He's the first one to congratulate guys when they come in. He's rah-rah. You can't hate on him. Now, when the Guardians made the decision that they were going to move on from him, and they quickly did that because they found out we're not in the, maybe $25 million a year, maybe. We can't do 40. This team can't do that. It would be a death sentence for this team to give one player $40 million. Death sentence. If they ever do it, watch the Guardians do what Detroit did the last 10 years because of the Miggy deal.
Yeah.
And they're a bigger market, have better fan support, and have an owner that will write checks. And they went like this. And they lived for 100 losses in last place for years because of the Miggy deal. Cleveland isn't built to have a $40 million a year player. The reason it didn't hurt the Guardians is because they got two terrific players in replacing Franky, and Franky has not been anywhere near the player he was when he was here.
He's batting like 190 or something like that.
He's
right
under 200. I think he's got 7 home runs.
Seven home runs. He's batting like 190.
He's under 200 for sure. He might be at 195. But guys, he was a 5-tool guy here. He did everything: average, power, speed. I think he's won 2 Gold Gloves. He did everything. And so for the Guardians to replace him with a guy who has a platinum glove, and a Gold Glove, even though he went to second base, and Ahmad came over and they moved him on, obviously in a trade, but I think that the Guardians, without question, won that trade, and the Mets, he was supposed to be the difference maker for the Mets. He hasn't been. Mets haven't been to the World Series. Mets haven't won anything. And Franky's playing so far below his career WAR. His career WAR is like 45. His WAR this year, I think, might be flat. And so the Mets did not get the player they thought they were getting, but they're on the hook for that salary. If Franky had been performing in Cleveland like he is in New York, it would have been catastrophic for this team.
I don't
catastrophic.
I don't think if if he was here, I don't think he would be performing like that.
Well, that
Me neither.
you know what? It's the pressure cooker of the Big Apple.
Right.
He's not the first one to get
They
gobbled
can
up by
always
it.
give them back if they want to.
We'll take them.
I mean, you
We'll
can
take
give them
them.
back.
Yeah, we'll take them.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Gave us Cookie back, so hey.
It was a lot of people.
You're right,
It was
did.
a lot of people hot. It was a lot of people hot because Lindor was. It was different with him because he was homegrown. He was the dude that you saw come up, and it ripped off a lot of old wounds a little bit. It got to the point where, you started to think about the CC Sabathias. You started to think about some of the guys. How I grew up going to watch Manny Ramirez with the Canton Akron Indians. Like, so you see these guys come up through the chain, come up through the system, and then he becomes a superstar. Like, the Guardians or the Indians at the time go to the World Series. He starts hitting 40 home runs. I'm like, dang, I had to go back and look. I'm like, Lindor hit that many home runs?
Yeah.
And when they traded him, I think that everyone had that thought process of, I remember when the Dolan said this, and my parents are diehard. They watch every single Guardians games. When they came out and said, you better enjoy him while he's here, they did not
hit
like
the wrong
that.
way.
When Dolan came out and said,
Listen, I
yeah.
didn't either.
They did not
hurt
like
my
that.
heart.
They were just softening the blow. They
Yeah.
were preparing us for the inevitable because they already knew my checkbook can't afford that.
I was like, man, they was hot. I'm like, but look, man, they worked their way out of that situation because they traded them. They got I would say they at this point they won that trade, and it kind of lended itself to them people getting over them. But the thing is this though, if you have that, you have to realize that even if you got the guys now, they only gonna be here for a certain period of time. I think that's the hardest part for people to get over. Like,
We're a transitional team.
yeah, that hurts.
It's so funny because everybody know Manny was my favorite, right? And as a kid, how invested you are in your
When
players.
they trade your favorite player, you cry.
It's hurt, right?
cry.
So I looked at the Franky thing. The Guardians caught me healed and broke my heart again. That's all they did.
Yeah, that's right.
They caught me healed.
Yep.
And then they broke my heart again. I tell y'all all the time, I still remember Manny's last at bat as a member of the Indians. We was going against the Kansas City Royals. It was the bottom of the eighth. He comes up for the last time, tip of the cap. Crowd is going crazy. They know what's going on. First pitch you see, smack it. Straight out the ballpark.
That's Manny.
Comes back, tip of the cap again. Couple months later, I see my boy putting on a Red Sox jersey. Now I'm up here talking about Nomar Garciaparra and trying to figure out everybody on the Red Sox roster. And sure enough, Franky come around. I said, man, they ain't going to do it again. Because to your point, if anybody is worth writing a check for,
He was the guy.
It's this dude. And when Dolan was like, you better enjoy it while you have him, I was like, yeah, see, this is why you don't do relationships.
Here's what's crazy.
This is why you don't do that.
It's just worked out for the Dolans, and here's why. It would be bad enough if he would have gone to the Mets and hit 40 home runs every year. But his last 3 seasons in Cleveland, I'm not going to count 20 because it was the COVID season, and he had 200 at-bats. But between 17, 18, and 19, he had 105 home runs, 33, 38, 32. In his 3 full seasons with the Mets, 20, 26, 31. But his batting average is the thing that, for me, I can't figure out what happened to him. His last 3 seasons in Cleveland, 277, 284, 258. He's been 230, 270, 250 in New York. He's hitting 197 this year. Like, I'm not sure if it's the pressure. I'm not sure if it's complacency because he got the money and he's set forever and ever with life money.
Or is he following the trend that I don't care what my average is, I want to hit home runs?
Maybe, but why have his home run totals gone down? Like, you'll sacrifice 40 points on your batting average for 10 home runs. He's gone down 40 points and he's gone down 10 home runs. He's hit 77 home runs in his 3 full seasons in New York. He had 105 his last 3 here.
I just think it's a combination with both of y'all said. It's that pressure playing in the Big Apple. New York, we will take him back.
Yeah.
I promise to God we will.
What is good power from a shortstop?
Oh, I'd take 20 home runs.
20 would be.
It's not a power position.
Yeah.
Oh, so
we were judging him based on his own bar.
Yeah, right. So now how many home runs he hit?
He's got 7 this year, and
Okay.
he'll probably finish with 30. That's what he'll do.
And so
but if he's hitting 200,
Don't hit none this week. Don't hit none the
yeah,
next 3
please
days.
don't hit none this week.
yeah,
Don't get
yeah.
hot this week. But you know what? I expect him to have a huge series.
And-
You know
and-
why? He's back in his comfort zone.
And shout out to Logan Allen. I think the last 12 innings he's pitched, no runs allowed.
Yeah,
He had 7
phenomenal.
strikeouts last
Phenomenal.
game. Like
And-
I'm really
and Bibee, like pitching is going to be. They're going to be okay.
the casual fan is back locked in, man.
Well, they 100,000 for 3 games,
I am
and I think
locked
they're going to
in.
get big numbers for these. I hope with Franky being in town.
I'm